The rain was coming down in sheets, turning the city streets into rivers and making it nearly impossible to see more than a few feet ahead. Marcus Chen gripped his 3-year-old son Tyler tighter as they hurried across the bridge, the boy's small body wrapped in a red blanket against the cold. At 32, Marcus had learned to navigate the city in all weather, all hours. When you worked the night shift at the hospital and had no one else to watch your kid, you did what you had to do. Marcus's dark hair was plastered to his head, his gray button-down shirt soaked through. Tyler had fallen asleep against his shoulder, exhausted from another day at the unreliable daycare Marcus could barely afford. They were heading home to their tiny apartment, where Marcus would have maybe 2 hours to sleep before his next shift started. This was his life now. Had been for the past year, since Tyler's mother had decided motherhood wasn't for her and left without a backward glance. No note, no explanation, just gone. Marcus was lost in thoughts of bills and exhaustion and wondering how much longer he could keep this up when he saw her. A woman stood on the wrong side of the bridge railing, her hands gripping the metal, her body leaning forward over the dark water below. She wore a light-colored dress that clung to her in the rain, her blonde hair hanging in wet strands around her face. Even from a distance, Marcus could see she was young, maybe mid-20s, and she was crying. His heart stopped. Then it started pounding. "Don't jump!" The words tore from his throat before he could think. "Please don't jump." The woman's head whipped around. For a moment, they just stared at each other through the rain. Marcus saw desperation in her face, pain so raw it made his chest ache. "Stay there," he called out, already moving toward her. "Please, just stay there. Don't move." "Go away," she said, her voice breaking. "Just leave me alone. There's nothing you can do." "I can listen," Marcus said, approaching slowly. Tyler stirred against his shoulder, and Marcus adjusted his grip, keeping the blanket secure around his son. "I can stand here in the rain with you." "Whatever you need. Just please don't jump." "Why do you care?" The woman's face crumpled. "You don't even know me." "I don't need to know you to care if you live or die." Marcus was close now, close enough to see her properly. She was beautiful, even with tears and rain streaming down her face. But more than that, she looked young and lost, and in more pain than anyone should have to bear. "Please come back over the railing. We can talk, or not talk, whatever you want." "You have a child," the woman said, noticing Tyler for the first time. Her expression shifted, something like shame crossing her face. "Oh God, you have a child and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "He shouldn't see this. You should go." "He's asleep, and I'm not going anywhere without you." Marcus's voice was firm but gentle. "What's your name?" "Why does it matter?" "Because you matter. You're a person with a name and a life and people who care about you. Tell me your name, please." The woman was silent for a long moment. Then, so quietly Marcus almost didn't hear it over the rain, "Sophia." "Sophia." "I'm Marcus. This is Tyler." He shifted Tyler slightly. "Sophia, whatever you're going through, it's not worth this. I promise you, it's not worth this." "You don't understand. You can't understand." "Then help me understand. Tell me what brought you here tonight." Sophia shook her head, her hands tightening on the railing. "Everything. I lost everything. My company, my reputation, everything I built. It's all gone." "Your company?" I was the CEO of a tech startup, Sophia Tech. We were going to change the world. Everyone believed in us. Investors gave us millions. And Her voice broke. "I trusted the wrong person. My business partner. He embezzled money, made deals behind my back, destroyed everything. Now the company's bankrupt, investors are suing me personally, and my name is all over the news as a fraud. I'm not a fraud. I didn't know what he was doing. But no one believes me." Marcus felt his heart break for this woman. "I'm so sorry that happened to you." "Sorry doesn't fix it. I've lost everything. My business, my savings fighting the lawsuits, my apartment, my friends who believed the lies." Sophia looked down at the water. "I have nothing left. I'm nothing without my company. I don't know who I am if I'm not that person anymore." "You're Sophia," Marcus said firmly. You're a person who built something from nothing. A person who had a dream big enough that people invested millions in it. A person who's going through the worst time of her life but who's still standing here talking to me instead of jumping. That's who you are. I can't do this. I can't start over. I can't face everyone. I can't. Yes, you can. Marcus moved closer to the railing. Sophia, look at me. Look at Tyler. A year ago, my girlfriend left us. No warning. No explanation. She just decided she didn't want to be a mother anymore and left. I was working full-time and suddenly I'm a single parent with a toddler and no support system and no idea what I'm doing. I work nights at a hospital, make barely enough to cover rent and daycare, and I'm so tired I sometimes can't remember what day it is. He swallowed hard. There have been nights when I didn't think I could do it anymore. When I was so exhausted and overwhelmed I wanted to give up, but I didn't, because Tyler needs me. Because even when life is impossibly hard, there are still moments of light. Tyler's laugh. The way he hugs me when I pick him up from daycare. The way he says, "Love you, Daddy," before bed. Those moments make it worth fighting through the hard parts. Sophia was crying harder now. I don't have anyone. No Tyler. No one who needs me. No reason to keep going. You have you. That's reason enough. Marcus extended his free hand toward her, palm up. Please, take my hand. Come back over the railing. Give yourself a chance to rebuild, to find new dreams, to discover who you are now, please. Why do you care so much? You said yourself you're barely surviving. You don't need my problems. Maybe I need to help you. Maybe that's my reason tonight. Marcus kept his hand extended. Maybe we all need to be needed. To know that what we do matters to someone. You matter to me, Sophia. Right now, in this moment, you matter. Please don't jump. Sophia stared at his hand for what felt like an eternity. Rain poured down on all of them. Tyler shifted in Marcus's arms but didn't wake. The city lights reflected off the wet pavement, creating halos in the darkness. Then, slowly, Sophia reached out and took Marcus's hand. He helped her climb back over the railing, and the moment her feet touched the safe side of the bridge, she collapsed. Marcus caught her with his free arm, Tyler still secure against his shoulder, and let Sophia sob against his chest. I've got you, he murmured. You're okay. You're safe. I've got you. They stood there in the rain until Sophia's sobs quieted. Then Marcus called 911, explained the situation, and waited with her until help arrived. The paramedics wanted to take her to the hospital for evaluation, and she agreed, too exhausted to protest. Thank you, she whispered to Marcus before they loaded her into the ambulance. I don't know why you stopped, but thank you. Take care of yourself, Sophia. Promise me. I promise. Marcus watched the ambulance drive away, then carried Tyler home through the rain. He was even later than usual, even more exhausted, but somehow he felt lighter. Like helping Sophia had reminded him of something important, that even in the darkest moments, connection matters. Compassion matters. Showing up for another human being matters. 3 days later, Marcus was at work when a woman walked into the hospital. He was doing rounds, checking on patients, trying to stay awake despite having slept maybe 3 hours total in the past 2 days. He didn't recognize her at first. She wore jeans and a simple sweater, her hair pulled back, no makeup. She looked younger than she had on the bridge. Less polished, but somehow more real. Marcus? He turned and his eyes widened. Sophia, what are you doing here? I needed to find you. To thank you properly. To tell you. She took a breath. The hospital made me stay for evaluation. They had me talk to a counselor, and I've been thinking about what you said on the bridge, about starting over. About finding new dreams. I'm glad you're okay. I'm not okay. Not yet, but I'm getting there. Sophia pulled out a piece of paper. This is my new number. I'm staying with a friend while I figure things out. And I wanted to ask you something. Can I take you to dinner? You and Tyler? To say thank you? Marcus hesitated. You don't need to do that. I want to. Please, let me thank you. Let me meet Tyler properly when he's awake. Her voice caught. Let me have a reason to keep going. Meeting you, seeing you with your son, hearing about how you keep fighting even when it's hard. That gave me hope. Let me hold on to that hope, please. So Marcus agreed. Dinner turned into a walk in the park. That turned into Sophia offering to watch Tyler one evening so Marcus could sleep. That turned into regular meetups, Sophia and Marcus and Tyler becoming an unexpected unit. Over the next months, Sophia slowly rebuilt her life. She took a job at a nonprofit helping other small business owners, using her experience to guide people through challenges. She testified against her former business partner, who was eventually convicted of fraud. She started going to therapy, working through the trauma and then when things the loss and the identity crisis. And through it all, Marcus was there. Not trying to fix her problems, not pushing for more than she could give, just being present, being a friend, being proof that good people still existed in the world. Why did you help me? Sophia asked one evening as they sat on a bench watching Tyler play. Really? You had every reason to just keep walking that night. You had your own problems. Why did you stop? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Because I know what it's like to feel alone, to feel like you're drowning and no one sees. And I thought, if I could just be someone who sees her, who acknowledges her pain, maybe that would be enough. Maybe that would give you one reason to choose life. It was enough. It was more than enough. Sophia turned to face him. Marcus, I need to tell you something. That night on the bridge, I had made my decision. I was going to jump. I was just waiting for the right moment. And then I heard your voice. And I saw you holding Tyler. And I thought, here's this man who has every reason to be angry at the world, to give up. And he's stopping in the rain to help a complete stranger. If he can keep going, maybe I can too. I'm glad you did. Keep going, I mean. I'm glad you stopped. Sophia reached over and took his hand. Marcus, is it crazy that I'm falling in love with you? We met in the worst possible circumstances. I was literally trying to end my life. That's not exactly a romantic beginning. Marcus smiled. The first real smile Sophia had seen from him in weeks. I think it's the most honest beginning I've ever had. You've seen me at my worst, exhausted and barely holding it together. I've seen you in your darkest moment, and we both chose to show up for each other anyway. That's not crazy. That's real. So you feel it too? Yeah, I feel it too. They were married a year later. A small ceremony with just close friends and Tyler as the ring bearer, proudly carrying the rings down the aisle. Sophia had started her own consulting firm by then, helping businesses recover from crisis. Marcus had been promoted at the hospital and could finally afford decent childcare and a bigger apartment. But more than the professional successes, they'd built something neither of them had expected to find. A family. A real family, built on honesty and vulnerability and the choice to keep showing up ever hard. On their first anniversary, they went back to the bridge. It was raining again, though not as hard as that night. They stood at the spot where Sophia had been standing, where Marcus had called out to her. Do you ever think about what would have happened if I jumped? Sophia asked quietly. Every day. And I'm grateful every day that you didn't. Me too. Sophia looked at him. You know what I realized? That night I thought I had lost everything. My company, my reputation, my identity. I thought those things were all I was. But you showed me I was wrong. Those were things I had, not things I was. The person I am is still here, still capable of building and dreaming and loving. I just needed someone to help me see that. You did the same for me. Before I met you, I was just surviving, working, taking care of Tyler, barely keeping my head above water. You reminded me that life could be more than that I could have dreams again, a partner, someone to share the burden and the joy. Tyler, now 4 years old, tugged on Marcus's hand. Daddy, can we go home now? I'm cold. Of course, buddy. Marcus picked him up. Let's go home. As they walked away from the bridge, Sophia looked back one more time at the spot that had almost been the end of her story. Instead, it had been the beginning of everything that mattered. She'd been ready to jump, convinced she had no reason to live. And a struggling single dad with a sleeping toddler had stopped in the rain to tell her she was wrong. To offer her his hand and his compassion and his refusal to let her give up. That night had changed both their lives. Marcus had gone from barely surviving to actually living, with a partner who understood struggle and resilience. Sophia had gone from wanting to end her life to building a new one that was fuller and more meaningful than anything she'd had before. They'd saved each other. Not in some grand, dramatic gesture, but in the quiet, persistent way that real saving happens. By showing up, by refusing to give up, by believing in each other when they couldn't believe in themselves. Sometimes the darkest moments lead to the brightest beginnings. Sometimes the worst nights of our lives are actually the first chapters of our best stories. Sometimes a stranger's compassion is exactly the lifeline we need to choose life over despair. Marcus had pulled Sophia back from the edge that night, and every day since, they'd been pulling each other forward, toward healing, toward hope, toward a future neither of them had imagined but both of them had built together. One rainy night, one moment of compassion, one choice to stop and care. That's all it took to change two lives forever. Sometimes that's all it takes.